going to be interesting to get your take with this new coaching staff versus what we've seen the last few years, because I've asked you this question from time to time, and you it frustrates you in a certain way when I've asked, when you look across football across the country and watch other games, other teams, how often do you see something and say, I wish we did that. I wish we took that concept and used it. Why don't we do that? Look at how masterful that was. They used that play and that formation to set up and burn them, 3 series later. They did this. They look at the way they're creative on their coverage. You would just go crazy in terms of everything that you would see the elite teams doing across the country that you would love to see Miami apply. And hopefully you're going to get a chance to start to see it this fall.
Yeah, man, I agree. I think one of the other beautiful things about what we're doing is, Mark, we've hired from all over the country. We're bringing Coach Cristobal from the Northern Pacific West. Like, he spent time in the Pac-12 and had to rebrand a program that was known for glit, glam, flash, and being really fast into a hard-nosed, run the ball, first round developing offensive line, first round developing defensive line. QB doesn't really matter. 7 running backs on scholarship team. And he did it, and did it to a high level, to the point of winning conference championships and winning the Rose Bowl. Then you also have a coach, and Coach Strong, who's from the Big 12, a coach and Coach Steele that's coached for 40 years. He's been in almost every conference. He started in the old SWAC. Like, he's been around the block. You bring in a young whippersnapper who built his things as a Big East player, Coach Adai, and then transitioned to the Big 12 as a coach at West Virginia, and then won a national championship as a defensive back coach, second to Kirby, because Kirby's really the DB coach there. But anyway, he just won a national championship. Saw what it took to get there and to get that done. All right, and Coach, it's just all these guys and these men. Coach Frank Pounce, who was at App State when they did the transition from the FCS level, which pretty familiar with those guys, okay, physically familiar with those guys, and then moved over to the Sun Belt, okay. So it's people who are at different levels and have done this thing at a successful level and to varying degrees, but they've succeeded, they've failed, they've learned from it, and now they're willing to go teach it at Miami. And I'm hoping that if we're able to put all that together, it could take off. And we'll see. We will see. Again, at the end of the day, we got to go out there and play the games. Okay. Texas A&M game won't happen until Texas A&M. Thank God we got Southern Miss and Bethune-Cookman before that. And then we have Middle Tennessee after that, before we get into our stretch of games that openly and truly matter to the postseason part of our ACC play. People have been asking me, which one would you take? Lost to Texas A&M and you beat Clemson, or you beat A&M and you lose to Clemson? Again, I don't want to ever lose any game, but if we're going to be honest, it makes more sense, and for the trajectory of our program, to have a second half of the season big win over a team that's beat us 98-12 in the last 3 times we've played them in playing Clemson. So, yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited about the staff. I'm excited for these young men. I'm excited for the facilities because they're going to get real coaching. They're going to get put in a true program. They're not going to be just football players at the University of Miami.
The point you make about Cristobal in changing the philosophy and approach and turning over the roster at Oregon, the one thing that I don't think a lot of people necessarily get is that, and we've stated it here a number of times in defending his record at Oregon and what he was able to accomplish, is that he accomplished all these things, and it wasn't that he was necessarily done. He was still, like, had he been there another 3, 4, 5 years, we would have seen that continue. He didn't get it to where he was still in the process of. So he wasn't, that isn't his complete body of work, nor do I believe that that would have been the end of it in terms of what he accomplished.
And let's be honest, it's to the point where Coach Dan Lanning is still winning recruiting battles off of what Coach Cristobal put together for 5 years. I mean, the facilities that he helped put together there, the program and the culture that he built there, and he left it. Yeah, he got shellacked by Utah twice and Oklahoma. He didn't even coach that game because he was already on his way to Miami. But at the end of the day, Coach Lanning is going to have a nice start. The cupboard isn't bare. The program ain't bad. There's a great fundamental attack 3-4 and a really good offensive line, top 5 offensive line still left at Oregon for him to build off of. 5 stars all over the damn field, So it's pales in comparison to what Coach Cristobal stepped into here at Miami. But like I've told you since 2018, when you asked me, and December 15th of 2018, I remember it. You asked me, where do you want to go now, Hossam? And I said, go hire the elite hire. And it's Mario Cristobal. It took some time, but here we are. It's Coach Mario Cristobal and a staff I couldn't even think of is now a part of it.